My dear brothers and sisters, Allah sends signs at the perfect moment, sometimes subtle, sometimes undeniable. Pay attention, stay patient, and prepare your heart for what is coming. Trust Him, surrender to His wisdom, and embrace the miraculous changes He is orchestrating. Do not fear the unknown, for what Allah has written for you is far more magnificent than you could ever imagine. Be ready to receive it, cherish it, and walk confidently into the blessings that are already on their way. In the journey of life, one of the most profound signs that your destiny is beginning to change is the realization of divine timing. Allah, the Most Wise, orchestrates every moment with precision, even when we cannot see the bigger picture. Often we look at the delays, the obstacles, and the unexpected turns in our lives and label them as failures or missed opportunities. But in reality, these moments are part of a divine plan far beyond our understanding. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you love a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows, while you know not. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. This verse is not just a statement, it is a guiding principle that teaches us patience and trust. Every setback, every closed door, every unanswered prayer is carefully timed by Allah to protect us from what may not be good for us and to prepare us for what is truly destined. Think about the natural rhythm of life. A seed does not sprout the moment it is planted. It requires time, water, sunlight, and the right conditions to grow. Similarly, our lives require stages of preparation that may feel frustrating or confusing, but each step is essential for the flourishing of our potential. A young man who longs for success in his career may face multiple rejections. To him, each rejection seems like a failure, but each one is teaching resilience, shaping his character, and leading him toward a path that aligns with his purpose. When the right opportunity finally arrives, it will feel effortless, and he will realize that the waiting and the struggle were necessary for him to recognize and seize it fully. Divine timing ensures that when blessings arrive, we are ready to appreciate them and handle them responsibly. The signs of divine timing often manifest as patterns in our lives that in hindsight make perfect sense. A relationship ends just before it would have caused heartbreak. A business deal falls through to make way for a far better opportunity, or a missed flight saves a person from a potential accident. These moments, when pieced together, reveal a web of divine wisdom, a reminder that Allah is constantly guiding us toward what is best. Life does not operate on our schedule, it operates on Allah's schedule, which is far more intelligent, compassionate, and precise than we can imagine. Recognizing divine timing also requires patience, which is a form of worship. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Wondrous is the affair of the believer, for there is good for him in every matter, and this is not the case with anyone except the believer. If he experiences happiness, he thanks Allah, and that is good for him, and if he suffers adversity, he perseveres, and that is good for him." When we align ourselves with Allah's timing, we begin to see life not as a series of random events, but as a series of meaningful moments, each serving a purpose. Patience allows us to navigate delays and uncertainties with grace, knowing that Allah is preparing something better than we could ever plan for ourselves. Divine timing also teaches us humility. We realize that despite our efforts, the outcome is not always in our control. We may plan, strategize, and work diligently, yet the results are ultimately in Allah's hands. Trusting His timing frees us from anxiety and fear of the future, allowing us to focus on the present with sincerity, effort, and gratitude. It reminds us that even when life seems stagnant, progress is occurring in ways unseen, shaping our destiny, refining our character, and opening doors at the precise moment when we are ready to step through them. Many people fail to notice the subtle lessons hidden in divine timing because they are looking for immediate results. They pray for change, but when it does not come in their time frame, they feel abandoned or discouraged. Yet Allah's timing is perfect, and His wisdom ensures that every delay carries a lesson. Every hardship contains a blessing, and every waiting period is preparing us for a future that is far brighter than we can envision. It is in this awareness that faith grows, patience strengthens, and hope becomes unshakable. As Allah begins to shift the course of your destiny, He often communicates in ways that are quiet, gentle, and almost imperceptible. These are the subtle signs that a change is approaching, meant to awaken your awareness and guide your heart without overwhelming you. They may appear as coincidences, moments of clarity, dreams, or even feelings that you cannot easily explain. The Quran reminds us, "Indeed, Allah is not unaware of what you do." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:273. And this assurance extends to the smallest events in our lives. Nothing is random, nothing is wasted, and every detail is part of a carefully woven tapestry meant to lead you toward your true path. Subtle signs often come in the form of timing that seems too perfect to be accidental. Perhaps you think of someone, and they unexpectedly reach out, offering guidance or an opportunity that changes everything. Perhaps you encounter a book, a lecture, or an article at exactly the moment you needed the wisdom it contains. These are not mere coincidences, they are hints from Allah pointing you toward the next stage of your journey. A young man struggling to make a decision about his career once attended a seminar he had almost ignored. The talk seemed simple and unremarkable at the time, yet it connected him with mentors who eventually opened doors he had never imagined. These subtle nudges are designed to guide without forcing, to awaken your awareness without overwhelming your heart, reminding you that your path is being directed by a power far greater than your own. The beauty of these signs lies in their quiet persistence. They may appear repeatedly, each time in a slightly different form, until your heart begins to recognize the pattern. A small dream may recur, a chance meeting may happen multiple times, or a phrase may appear in your reading again and again. Allah often uses repetition to capture our attention, to help us discern the path that we are meant to follow. One woman I know kept encountering the same verse of the Quran during moments of doubt. At first she brushed it aside, but over time the repetition became impossible to ignore. That verse eventually became the catalyst for a profound change in her career and personal life, guiding her toward opportunities aligned with her purpose. Subtlety is part of the wisdom of Allah, allowing us to exercise discernment and reflection, cultivating an intimate awareness of His guidance. Recognizing these signs requires attentiveness and mindfulness. In a world filled with distractions, it is easy to overlook the gentle signals Allah places before us. But when we pause to reflect, when we engage our hearts as well as our minds, we begin to see the divine hand at work. Even seemingly ordinary events can carry extraordinary meaning. A delayed bus, a conversation with a stranger, or a sudden insight during prayer may hold the key to a pivotal change. Like footprints in sand, these signs leave traces of Allah's plan for those willing to observe closely. Subtle signs also test our faith and sincerity. Sometimes Allah sends guidance in ways that require courage, patience, or action. You may sense a direction that feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar, yet following it leads to immense growth. Consider the story of Prophet Musa, Moses, peace be upon him, when he was guided to leave Egypt. The signs were clear, but the path was uncertain and daunting. Following Allah's subtle guidance required trust, patience, and courage, and it led to the fulfillment of his destiny. Similarly, in our own lives, recognizing and responding to the quiet nudges of divine guidance is an act of faith, a willingness to surrender our assumptions and embrace what Allah has written for us. Sometimes these signs manifest as changes in our emotions or inner awareness. You may feel drawn to certain places, people, or ideas without understanding why. These feelings are often the whispers of guidance, subtle movements of the heart that align with your destiny. If you ignore them, opportunities may pass unnoticed. If you embrace them, they may open doors to unimaginable blessings. Paying attention to these signals sharpens your spiritual sensitivity, teaching you to trust not only in external guidance but also in the intuitive wisdom Allah places within your heart, a compass aligned with your ultimate purpose. Trusting in Allah's plan is one of the most transformative steps a believer can take when recognizing that their destiny is beginning to change. It is not merely a passive hope, but an active, heartfelt surrender to the wisdom of the Creator, understanding that every moment of our lives is intricately woven by His knowledge and mercy. The Quran reminds us, "Say, never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector, and upon Allah let the believers rely." Surah At-Tawbah, 9:51. This verse teaches that everything we experience, whether joy or difficulty, is part of a divine design. Trusting in Allah's plan means accepting that while we may not see the full picture, every piece of our life's puzzle is being placed with perfect wisdom. Many people struggle with this concept because life often appears chaotic or unfair. We make plans, set goals, and work tirelessly toward our ambitions, only to encounter setbacks that shake our confidence. Yet these setbacks are often the very instruments through which Allah shapes our character, strengthens our faith, and redirects us toward outcomes far better than we could have envisioned. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who invested years of effort into a business that ultimately failed. Initially, the loss felt devastating, leaving him questioning his choices and abilities. However, in the aftermath, he discovered opportunities that aligned more closely with his true passions, leading to a career that brought fulfillment, financial stability, and personal growth. Allah's plan, though invisible at the time, had been unfolding precisely to prepare him for success that was far greater than his initial vision. Trusting Allah's plan also requires releasing control and embracing humility. We may meticulously chart our paths, attempting to predict outcomes, yet ultimately, we are not the authors of our destinies. True reliance on Allah, known as tawakkul, is acknowledging that while effort is necessary, results are determined by His will. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "If you were to rely upon Allah with the reliance He is due, you would be given provision like the birds. They go out hungry in the morning and return full in the evening." This teaching emphasizes that trust is not passive waiting, but active engagement, balanced with confidence that Allah is the ultimate provider and guide. By practicing this reliance, the heart becomes serene, even amidst uncertainty, and the mind is free from the burden of worry that clouds judgment and peace. One of the most profound ways to cultivate trust in Allah's plan is through reflection on past experiences. Often looking back reveals how every hardship, delay, or unexpected turn was necessary to lead us to the right place. A student who repeatedly failed exams may initially feel despair, yet those experiences can instill discipline, patience, and resilience. Later, when they achieve success, they recognize that the prior struggles were crucial stepping stones, shaping them into capable and prepared individuals. These reflections deepen faith, as they allow us to see the intricate hand of Allah in the sequence of events that once seemed confusing or discouraging. Trusting in Allah's plan also encourages patience during moments of uncertainty. Life is filled with periods of waiting, and these intervals are often the most critical for spiritual growth. Patience is not passive endurance, it is an active engagement of the heart, holding firm to belief in Allah's wisdom, while navigating challenges with hope and courage. Consider the journey of Prophet Ayub, Job, peace be upon him, who endured immense trials yet never lost faith in Allah's plan. His patience ultimately led to relief, restoration, and blessings beyond measure. Similarly, in our lives, patience allows the seeds of divine guidance to take root, even when immediate results are not visible. Furthermore, trusting Allah's plan cultivates gratitude. When we accept that our circumstances are part of a divine orchestration, we begin to appreciate both the blessings and the lessons embedded in our experiences. Gratitude shifts the focus from what is lacking to the ways in which Allah's mercy is constantly present, fostering a sense of contentment and resilience. Each hardship becomes a reminder that Allah is aware, capable, and compassionate, and each blessing becomes a tangible sign of His generosity. By intertwining trust with gratitude, the heart becomes a fertile ground for faith to flourish, and for the signs of a changing destiny to be recognized. Preparing your heart for blessings is an essential step when recognizing that your destiny is beginning to change. Often we focus so much on external achievements and material success that we forget the internal readiness required to receive the gifts Allah has prepared for us. True blessings are not merely events or possessions. They are moments of spiritual, emotional, and personal growth that arrive when our hearts are aligned with sincerity, gratitude, and awareness of Allah's mercy. The Quran reminds us, "Whoever comes on the day of judgment with a good deed will have 10 times the like thereof, and whoever comes with an evil deed will not be recompensed except the like thereof." Surah Al-An'am 6:160. This teaches that Allah values the condition of the heart, the intentions behind our actions, and the purity of our inner state when granting rewards and blessings. A heart prepared for blessings is one that actively cultivates patience, humility, and gratitude. Patience allows us to endure periods of waiting and uncertainty, understanding that not every good thing arrives instantly. Just as a farmer does not harvest crops immediately after planting seeds, blessings in life require nurturing and care. Consider a young woman who prayed for guidance in her career. She sought multiple opportunities but faced setbacks, rejections, and moments of doubt. Instead of becoming disheartened, she focused on refining her skills, helping others, and strengthening her spiritual connection through prayer and reflection. Over time, opportunities aligned perfectly, and when a significant breakthrough arrived, she was ready to embrace it fully, equipped with wisdom, confidence, and gratitude. Humility is another cornerstone of a heart prepared for blessings. Often the sudden arrival of success can lead to arrogance, forgetfulness of Allah, or complacency. Preparing your heart involves recognizing that every blessing, no matter how small, is a gift from Allah, not merely the result of human effort. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Allah does not look at your appearance or your wealth, but looks at your hearts and your deeds." When we cultivate humility, we become vessels capable of receiving blessings without allowing pride or ego to distort our purpose. A heart attuned to humility remains conscious of Allah's presence, constantly seeking His guidance, and offering gratitude for every favor granted. Gratitude itself is transformative in preparing the heart for blessings. By actively acknowledging and appreciating the gifts we already possess, we create space for more to enter our lives. Gratitude shifts the focus from what is lacking to what is present, fostering contentment and faith in Allah's wisdom. Small acts of thankfulness, whether through prayer, helping others, or simply reflecting on the beauty of creation, strengthen our awareness of divine generosity. A man who consistently thanked Allah for the small comforts of life, his health, family, and opportunities, noticed that unexpected blessings began to arrive in forms he had not anticipated. Gratitude amplifies the blessings already present and opens the heart to receive new ones, creating a continuous cycle of abundance and spiritual fulfillment. Preparing your heart also involves alignment of intention and action. It is not enough to desire a positive change. The heart must be ready to act in accordance with Allah's guidance. Sincere intentions, coupled with righteous deeds, purify the heart and make it receptive to the signs of destiny unfolding. The story of Prophet Joseph, peace be upon him, exemplifies this principle. Despite facing betrayal, imprisonment, and immense hardship, he maintained integrity, trust, and sincerity in all his actions. When his destiny changed and he was elevated to a position of influence, he was fully prepared to receive the responsibility and blessings, using them wisely and with gratitude. Furthermore, a heart ready for blessings remains vigilant to the subtle signs Allah sends, aware that opportunities often come in unexpected forms. By nurturing self-awareness, reflection, and spiritual sensitivity, one can recognize these moments and act upon them with faith and courage. Preparing your heart is an ongoing process, a daily effort of refining intentions, purifying actions, and cultivating gratitude, patience, and humility. This inner work ensures that when Allah opens doors of opportunity and abundance, the heart is receptive, aligned, and ready to embrace the transformative blessings that He has destined. Embracing change with faith is the final transformative step when you sense that your destiny is shifting. Change is often accompanied by uncertainty, discomfort, and fear, but it is also the doorway through which Allah delivers the blessings and opportunities that shape our lives. The Quran reminds us, "Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves." Surah Araf 13:11. This verse teaches that embracing change is not merely about external circumstances, but begins within the heart and mind. To truly receive the guidance and blessings that accompany destiny's shift, we must approach change with faith, courage, and an unwavering trust in Allah's plan. Many people resist change because it challenges their comfort zones, familiar routines, and the illusions of control they hold over their lives. Yet, every moment of discomfort or uncertainty is an invitation to grow closer to Allah, and to develop the strength and resilience necessary for the next stage of life. Consider a young woman who had been working in the same job for years, feeling stagnant and unfulfilled. When a sudden opportunity arose to move to a new city for a different role, she hesitated out of fear and uncertainty. By trusting in Allah, and taking the step forward, she not only found professional growth, but also a community of support and spiritual renewal. Embracing change with faith means seeing beyond immediate discomfort to the larger divine purpose behind each shift. Faith in times of change also involves recognizing the signs Allah places before us, guiding us gently toward the paths we are meant to take. These signs may come as intuitive nudges, recurring ideas, or even challenging circumstances that push us out of complacency. A man facing repeated setbacks in his business felt guided to try a different approach, one that initially seemed risky and unfamiliar. Trusting in Allah's signs, he implemented the change, which eventually led to unprecedented success and personal fulfillment. Faith allows us to perceive the opportunities hidden within challenges, transforming uncertainty into a canvas for divine intervention and growth. Courage is inseparable from faith when embracing change. It takes bravery to step into the unknown, to leave behind what is familiar, and to act on guidance that is not yet fully visible. The story of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, illustrates this principle perfectly. When called to lead his people and confront Pharaoh, Musa faced immense fear and doubt, yet his faith in Allah gave him the strength to act decisively. Change, when approached with faith, requires the same courage, an inner trust that Allah's plan is greater than our fears, and that each step taken with sincerity and reliance upon Him brings us closer to the destiny He has written. Another aspect of embracing change with faith is the willingness to release attachments that no longer serve our purpose. Sometimes Allah closes doors, ends relationships, or removes comforts from our lives to make space for new blessings. Holding on to the past with fear or resentment
can block the flow of destiny. Letting go is not easy, but faith transforms the act into an opportunity for growth and spiritual alignment. A student who felt lost after failing to enter a desired program eventually discovered an alternative path that better suited her talents and aspirations, illustrating that what seems like loss may be a divine redirection towards something far more beneficial. Embracing change with faith also nurtures gratitude and awareness. When the heart remains conscious of Allah's presence, even uncertainty becomes a reminder of His mercy, wisdom, and protection. Gratitude amplifies faith, allowing us to recognize that every challenge, detour, or new beginning carries a hidden blessing. Life becomes a journey in which each twist and turn is infused with divine purpose, and the heart learns to move confidently, patiently, and joyfully, knowing that Allah's guidance accompanies every step. Faith in the face of change strengthens resilience and deepens spiritual connection. It transforms fear into hope, hesitation into action, and uncertainty into trust. The believer who embraces change with faith understands that every transition, whether gradual or sudden, is part of a divinely orchestrated path toward growth, fulfillment, and the realization of their true potential. It teaches that destiny is not something that passively happens, but something to be actively engaged with, through trust, courage, and sincere surrender to Allah.